Welcome to RC Thornton & Associates, a Phoenix-based CPA firm whose mission it is to help their clients achieve financial success. This is part of a series of career development insights for the professional interested in advancing their career. We caught up with a group of CPA professionals at various stages of their career who asked a few questions about how they can make their career better. Stay tuned at the end to find out how to contact Chuck. We're here today with Chuck Thornton of RC Thornton & Associates. Chuck, thanks for coming in today.
Sir, thank you.
We're here to talk about a very important topic. How should a candidate interview a potential employer? Very critical to know how to do that. Roy, I think you've got some good questions about this.
Thank you, Wade. Now, Chuck, I'm about 10 years into my career. How should I be choosing which firms to apply at?
Well, Roy, if you've been in for 10 years, you probably have some type of idea of what you're interested in as far as following through with your career. You may by now decide tax is your area, tax controversy work. Maybe you like financial statements, audits. You might like different type of things such as valuation. So you need to find the firms that do that type of work. And there's a variety of ways. I think we chit-chatted before about some of the ways, about looking for the people who have authored books, committees and things in your local area, looking for the people at that level that are in certain CPA firms. But I have to tell you, with the internet, it makes it so much easier to do nowadays. You can almost Google anything and you can find articles, you can find who's on committees, you can find it pretty quickly. I would caution this, as you start looking at the websites of different firms, which I would encourage you to do, keep in mind most CPA firms seem to do everything, and so you're not really sure what the emphasis is that they're doing. It's a source, but the website, remember, is mostly for promoting clients, not necessarily for attracting employees. But look at all the different sources for your information and then seek them out to interview.
Well, Chuck, I have been in the profession for about 5 years now, and I'm looking to interview again. And you seem to be encouraging me to interview the interviewer, or in other words, ask interviewer questions about their firm. Why is that?
I like your phrase, interview the interviewer. It's a two-way street is actually what's happening here. They're assessing you to see if you're a candidate to be suitable for their firm, and you're assessing them at this point to see whether they would be a suitable employer. But at this point with 5 years, you're starting to develop the type of things that you're interested in. You're getting a good idea of it. And it's only fitting and only makes sense that you would ask questions of them. Now, by the way, I believe that no interviewer would ever be offended by you asking questions as long as you're polite with the questions that you have. And they would probably look at it as a negative if you actually didn't do that.
So I'm a little over halfway through my career, and I'm a little skeptical maybe. Can you really ask a question in an interview without offending a potential employer?
You can. I would say if they would be offended easily, maybe that's not the right firm anyhow, because they would expect it normally. It's obviously just using good common sense in how you ask the question. Maybe a little bit of timing as to when you do it. It might be an issue of may I ask a question, but somewhere in there they're going to give you some time for your questions. The key thing is make sure you have enough time to ask all the questions that you want.
I just graduated. What are some questions that I should ask a potential employer?
When you graduated, you probably are not really sure which way you want to go, so you're looking for some general experiences. First of all, definitely, as I've been emphasizing, be polite, ask permission. It's their interview, but it's your time also. And you might say, would it be okay if I ask you a question? Also, sometimes there's some timing when to ask. They may be interviewing you, asking you questions, and that might be a good time for you to say, how would you handle a particular situation, or how would I be starting on that area if you were to hire me at the firm? Be ready for them to ask you if there's any questions, and then also make sure you allow enough time for the interview questions. So when you start asking a question, you might get a feel for how much time's left so that you don't go over on the question load.
Chuck, I'm established in my career. As an employer, what do you do as you conduct interviews of candidates?
Well, we do our homework, and that's the theme I've been suggesting to everyone here, is we do our homework also. We do our homework to look at your resume. We look at what's in the resume. Quite frankly, we look for things like how many jobs has someone had in a certain period of time. We look for gaps. We look for the education. Then we also take a look, if you've given us your references in there, we might actually contact some of the references before you actually come in. We then would be preparing our list of questions, but it would appear to be very casual. And you should assume that probably most firms that you would interview with have some structure to their questions anyhow, even though it may seem very casual. And also, too, what we would be doing is asking you if you have questions, and sometimes we might tag off of your questions and ask another question as a result of that.
Chuck, obviously, it's okay in an interview to interview the interviewer, but do your homework and be prepared. Thanks for coming in today. We sure appreciate your time and your thoughts.
Thank you.